Welcome back to the show, everyone. Or, if this is your first time joining us, welcome to this absolute cluster of asterisk CC we call reality. Today, we're strapping ourselves in for a wild ride through the last 2 years of global upheaval. Buckle up, buttercups, because we're about to dive headfirst into a whirlwind of economic policy changes that would make your head spin faster than a politician trying to explain a campaign donation. We're talking corporate strategies so baffling they'd make a Rubik's Cube look like child's play. And of course, no geopolitical roller coaster would be complete without a healthy dose of international tension that could make a UN summit look like a picnic in the park. Over the next few minutes, we'll unpack how these events have reshaped entire industries, leaving a trail of bewildered CEOs, economists currently questioning their career choices, and a global population wondering if they should invest in canned goods or a one-way ticket to Mars. Let's dive in, shall we? Remember 2023? Pepperidge Farm remembers? It was the year the Bank of Japan decided to spice things up in the global bond market like a dash of wasabi in a bowl of oatmeal. Unexpected and, frankly, a bit concerning for everyone's digestive systems. See, the BOJ, in all its infinite wisdom, decided to tweak its yield curve control policy. On the surface, it seems simple enough, but in the world of global finance, even the tiniest tweak can trigger a domino effect that would make a Rube Goldberg machine look positively straightforward. Sovereign bond yields went on a roller coaster ride that would make even the most seasoned Wall Street trader lose their lunch. US yields? Up they went. German yields? Not so much. It was like watching a financial version of that scene in Titanic where Rose floats on the door, and Jack slowly freezes to death. Tragic, unnecessary, and ultimately leaving everyone feeling a bit cold. As BOJ Governor Kazuo Ueda so eloquently put it at the time, "We are trying to achieve our price stability target in a sustainable and stable manner." Which, if we're being honest, sounds a lot like something you'd say while trying to parallel park a minivan in a space clearly meant for a smart car. Optimistic, but with a high probability of ending in disaster. Ah, Manhattan, the city that never sleeps, unless of course everyone is working from home in their pajamas. 2023 saw the Big Apple take a big bite out of the economic downturn apple, with remote work costing the city an eye-watering $12 billion. Office buildings sat emptier than a billionaire's heart on Valentine's Day. And the only thing booming louder than the cries of commercial landlords were the sighs of relief from people who no longer had to endure their soul-crushing commutes. But fear not, for the human race is nothing if not adaptable. By 2025 we've managed to cobble together some semblance of normalcy, or at least a new definition of it. The hybrid work model, that beautiful compromise between productivity and pants-optional comfort, has taken root. Co-working spaces are popping up faster than Starbucks in a gentrifying neighborhood, offering a haven for those craving human interaction that doesn't involve awkwardly waving at a colleague through a Zoom screen. As New York City Mayor Eric Adams optimistically declared, the future of work is hybrid, and New York City is leading the way. Which, to be fair, is a pretty low bar considering the only other option is returning to the pre-pandemic norm, and judging by the sheer number of people I still see wearing pajamas in public, I'm not sure we're quite ready for that. Remember that time Hindenburg Research decided to drop a bombshell report on the Adani Group like a rogue pigeon ruining a perfectly good suit? Yeah, 2023 was a wild year. The report, which read like a laundry list of allegations you'd expect to find in a Scorsese film, sent shockwaves through the Indian stock market. Share prices plummeted faster than a skydiver with a faulty parachute, and investors were left scrambling for cover like cockroaches when you turn on the kitchen light. But just like a Bollywood protagonist rising from the ashes, the Adani Group, fueled by a potent mix of denial, legal maneuvering, and a healthy dose of we'll weather this storm bravado, began its long climb back to the top. By 2025, armed with a plan they cleverly dubbed Operation Zeppelin because apparently irony is dead, they've managed to regain some of their lost ground. Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, in a statement that could rival the most perfectly vague corporate PR response, assured everyone that Indian markets are resilient and well-regulated. Which, to be fair, is a bit like saying the Titanic had a few minor design flaws, technically true, but doesn't exactly inspire confidence, does it? Chapter 4. Consumer Giants in Russia, Ethical Pretzels and Vodka Shots. Ah, Russia. Land of borscht, ballet, and the ever-present ethical dilemma of whether to stay or go. 2023 saw many consumer brands grappling with this very question, caught between the proverbial rock and a hard place. Or perhaps more accurately, between a rocketing ruble and the court of public opinion. Some brands, unable to stomach the moral implications of profiting in a nation actively engaged in a land war in Asia, packed their bags and hightailed it out faster than an oligarch fleeing sanctions. Others, however, chose to stay put, citing commitments to local employees and the Russian people. Of course, the cynic in me can't help but wonder if those commitments were written in invisible ink that magically reappeared whenever someone mentioned potential profit margins. Fast forward to 2025 and what do we see? The Russian consumer goods market, far from collapsing under the weight of sanctions and bad press, is projected to grow. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, in a statement that could curdle milk, recently declared the EU remains committed to supporting Ukraine and holding Russia accountable for its actions. Which is great and all, but it does make you wonder if anyone's checked on those consumer giants lately, because I'm pretty sure that ethical pretzel they're trying to twist themselves into is starting to look more like a noose. Chapter 5. Turkey's Earthquake Recovery, Rubble, Resilience, and Rebuilding. In early 2023, tragedy struck Turkey with the force of 1,000 fault lines. The earthquakes, which measured a horrifying magnitude on the Richter scale that I can't even joke about because it's just too awful, devastated entire regions, leaving behind a trail of rubble and heartbreak that stretched further than the eye could see. The economic toll was immediate and staggering, with estimates of the damage reaching figures that would make even the most hardened economist reach for a stiff drink and a good cry. But amidst the devastation, a glimmer of hope emerged. The Turkish people, known for their resilience and spirit, rallied together, forming human chains to clear debris, sharing what little food and water they had, and reminding the world that even in the darkest of times, humanity can shine through. International aid, though slow at first, eventually began to trickle in, with the World Bank pledging billions in financial support. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, in a rare moment of genuine emotion, vowed to rebuild, stating, "We will overcome this disaster together." And while the road to recovery is long and arduous, the spirit of the Turkish people, coupled with the support of the global community, offers a beacon of hope in the face of unimaginable loss. Chapter 6. France, pensions, protests, and the perils of working from home. Ah, France. Land of baguettes, berets, and a seemingly endless capacity for protest. In 2023, the streets of Paris and cities across the nation were transformed into a sea of angry citizens, all united in their opposition to President Macron's proposed pension reforms. The reforms, which aimed to raise the retirement age, were about as popular as a skunk at a garden party. Strikes crippled public transportation, garbage piled up higher than the Eiffel Tower, and the air was thick with the scent of tear gas and revolution. Fast forward to 2025, and while the pension protests have subsided, for now, the underlying tensions remain. Prime Minister François Bayrou, tasked with the unenviable job of navigating this political minefield, has been engaging in a delicate dance with unions, trying to find a compromise that will appease the masses without completely derailing the French economy. Meanwhile, a new battle is brewing on the horizon, the regulation of work-from-home policies. The French government, never one to shy away from a good bureaucratic tangle, is grappling with how to balance the needs of workers with the concerns of businesses. As Prime Minister Bayrou so eloquently put it, we must find a way to modernize our social model while preserving its fundamental values. Which, if we're being honest, sounds suspiciously like a politician's way of saying, this is going to be a complete mess, isn't it? The more things change, the more we stay the same. So there you have it. From the dizzying heights of global monetary policy, to the ethically murky depths of corporate decision-making, and from the urban financial transformations, to the ever-present specter of governance scandals, the world has, to put it mildly, been through the ringer these past 2 years. The only constant, it seems, is change itself. Businesses, policymakers, and investors are all scrambling to adapt to these shifting dynamics, desperately trying to future-proof their strategies, and ensure both resilience and long-term stability in a world that increasingly feels like it's hanging by a thread. What does the future hold? Honestly, who the hell knows at this point? But hey, that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The only thing we can be certain of is that it's going to be a wild ride. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to stock up on canned goods and practice my meditation techniques. What are your thoughts on these developments? Share your insights in the comments below.